There you go, right at 5. Right at 5. Back at 6. Here we go. 6. 6. Sorry about that. I went ahead and decided to conduct in 1 when we got to where it's twice as fast, so I didn't have to move as twice as fast. Sorry about that. So let's take it at 9, please. Go on, or... Okay, 9, please. 9.
Okay, that's good. All right, Copland, another experience. Hard. Copland is always one of those composers that ends up, the more you work on it, the harder it gets in order to sound right, because it's all based on those fourths and fifths. And anybody in their ducks, you know, can tell whether it's in tune or not. And so it really starts becoming a problem, because if it's out of tune, it's not Copland. The other thing is that everything should sound like, all the way through, that it's somehow only chord structure. Because the melodic line is all, there are hardly any non-chordal notes in the main melodic material. See? So it becomes a concept of smoothing everything out, no rough edges at all. Even when it's fast and accented or loud or anything like that, it's still grand and glorious. And so it shouldn't punch it too much. It all still is big and full sound. I'm saying all that because it, again, comes into the conducting. Simplistic pieces of music. Anytime I see something, say, simplest or folk song in nature, I usually try to back off in terms of my rubato. I just let it just cook along, but very smooth and innocent. I think of folk songs as being innocent and being just polite and pure enough and beautiful all by themselves. With that in mind, then my conducting of this would try to be without much edge to it. And I'm again saying this from an interpretive standpoint because it depends on how you look at the piece and how you're conducting it. You see. So let's start at the beginning. oh, the other thing I would say is this, excuse me, is that when I have a soloist playing, I never conduct soloists. I'm with them, but they lead me instead of the other way around. Then I correct if I think that they're headed someplace I don't want to go, but in general, I still let them go with it pretty well. There we go. Now, that's all a matter of interpretation. It's a matter of how you look at the piece. But from a conducting standpoint, and you can do this or not do this, the tape's running so we can look at it, you notice that I'm not giving much ictus at all. If this were an orchestra, I'd probably be giving a lot more, because strings have a tendency not to play clean enough together, and winds have a tendency to play too clean. We can clean up a piece like this and make it sterile. It needs the resonances of sounds covering each other on the ends a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's, you know what I mean by that? You know, like if you take a string instrument and you release the bow, it still vibrates a little bit. And that's going on all the time. I realize that this is for winds, and I understand that, and it's one of the few pieces that Copeland did. Well, actually, Copeland did a lot of pieces for both orchestra and rescored them again for winds. But the character of the piece still has that chordal structure that seems to flow throughout and cover things. Very, very seldom pointed. And so that's the reason I would conduct it that way. And I like what he's doing, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not sure that I like the interpretation that's coming out of the band. And so I would begin to kind of look at other ways to make that change. So now, having said all that, come on up and do whatever you want to do.
Yes. One observation, I noticed that you can get by with larger and higher gestures than someone of Don's stat, my height, Jerry's height, and you can get more up here to make more.
Absolutely, and
we would look like scarecrows, you know.
Well, you know, I had a choral conductor when I was going to college that was very, very tall, had long arms, and I would watch him in choir concerts, and he was so graceful. I thought, you know, I looked at my body, I thought, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to look like that. And I'm right, I never will look like that. You know? I mean, when he reached over here and picked up a line and brought it out, it was like this gorgeous you know, wonderful, wonderful conducting. But at the same time, he wouldn't do it in large gestures fast.
Right.
So it's a matter of again, attuning yourself to where you always look like a conductor. Because there is a visual image that we have, and we really ought to keep going to it. Because we expect a band to play like a band, but sometimes we don't have that visual image of what a conductor looks like. A conductor should look elegant, graceful.
One thing we need to address when we get into our session with the conductors is the style of Leonard Bernstein and his
The conductors don't have to be,
gyrations.
please understand, conductors don't have to be clear if they're professional conductors and great conductors and this, that, and the other. Because those people have played so many of those pieces before. They're trying to coax them into doing something a little different than before. But you put a new piece in front of that orchestra and watch that conductor. Same conductor. Man, it gets down to business and it's clean and clear. Same conductor. Because they've gone through what we're already doing now. See, and now they're trying to figure out a way to get some other height. You see. So again, elegant. That's not really what I say in the book. I say, first of all, a conductor should be an elegant listener. Never give a downbeat that you don't expect beauty to come out of it. You'll give the downbeat differently. And so you always conduct it as if it's going to be the grandest thing in the world. And then if you want to listen to it later, it's okay.
Very beginning, please.
it always is interesting to hear when you say to a player, you just play that, it's your solo, how much better they play than if you're conducting them and they play the same solo. Somehow they feel the freedom to play it, you know, it's really true. And we're not on a control trip up in the front, but at the same time, we have our performance in our mind, but we really need to, especially when it comes to solos, is let people play theirs. I've developed a philosophy over the years that I take what the group gives me and try to make it everything they want it to be. And that, because there's so many pieces that start with a solo line or maybe a few players, and you listen to how they play it, and then you play off of that. You don't change the next time the ensemble plays it to be different. You know, notice we do the same thing that accompaniments do.
Write that much on it, you can't even read the notes after a while.
Anything else?
Just like at school, isn't it?
No, that's not like at my school. Leaves my students own pencils. That's kind of cool, though. Irish tune. So we have no tuba players, huh? I think we'll just live with what we've got, I guess. It'll be fine. Got a bass clarinet. Give you $5, you just play real loud. Here we go. Just make me look good, please. Would you make me look good? I'll give you money. Take out to dinner. Here we go. Make me look good. Here we go. Irish tune.
played this piece before. And you've conducted before and performed it before. And every time I've ever heard this piece played, I have a problem with the piece. I love the piece. I think it's, in fact, I think it's this and the Charter Symphony are the two most difficult pieces in the band literature. And there's a lot of pieces that have a lot of notes that I've worked with in my life. These are still the two hardest pieces I've ever played. And I told you going back and listening to Granger's piece and everything like that, and I will tell you that again, there's some strange things in here that aren't it's not right. This should have a feeling of two. It's a folk song and it's sung. If anyone had to stand up in front, sing, oh Danny boy, and that's what's written. It's exactly what's there. It's too slow. We play it too slow. We don't flow and we lose expression because of it. There's a lot written in here, and I don't mean it needs to be faster, but these phrases are terribly long, and we're letting notes die and everything else. So I'm just going to play around with it a little bit, and then I don't know why. Sometimes I wonder exactly what I'm supposed to be doing in these kind of clinics. Part of it is like, okay, stick technique. And part of it is 35 years of experience. It's not more intelligence. It's 35 years of playing this piece and hearing other people play it and listening to this and that and the other. And so part of it is interpretation, I think, because this man can conduct anything he wants to. He's got good stick technique. Now it's a matter of where do I go from here and what do I do? If you stand in front of a professional ensemble all the time, which I'm doing these days, it's amazing how much better conducting you do. just the same thing you're telling me that, oh yeah, so you can come over and stand this, but come and conduct my group that way. Well, it's true, but this is a conducting thing. So let's play with it a little bit. I'm going to do it in two, some of the time, but it's not fast. Here we go. It'll be about 2, 3, 4, 1. You got to be able to count though. 1, 2, 3. Because I heard that with him. You got to pay attention. Don't follow me in terms of pulse. You provide the pulse. Remember that? Okay. So don't get lost in the shuffle. This is the tempo. I just gave it to you. 3, 4. Now, if there's a breath there, which there isn't, but if we had to take a breath, we would want to steal that breath. In other words, be sure you don't rob count 1 in order to take it. I'll give you time if we need it. But notice you don't want to clip the end of the note off in order to take the breath. We play the note, then you take the breath, then we start again, if necessary. That's the reason I'm saying that to you is because when we get metronomic with what we do, that's what has to happen. We rob the last note to take the breath and go on. If we allow the end of the phrase to occur, then we can take the breath and it doesn't even seem like we took one. Okay? Let's do it again. That's good. Good phrasing. Again. And I know I knew this was going to be difficult for you. If I say phrase it in 2, it doesn't really matter whether I conduct it in 4 or not. There's a different feel to this. Okay, we're playing it faster, but we're still in 4. You understand what I'm saying at all? It's a fine line, but it needs to be, I want you to feel it if you can, because it's the difference between conducting it the way it's written and it'll come off, or conducting it the way it's not written and have it come off. Because it won't do it faster. You can't play this in 4/4 faster. You can play it in 2 faster in terms of expression. Okay, let's try it again. Try it again. 3, 4, 1. trying to, change your interpretation, but the piece can have a lot of flexibility. When you hear Granger play this on piano, all the way through the beginning, he's never together with himself. It's like bring, 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 ding, bring, bring, bring. The fingers are just, and it's not like grace notes. and it's not exactly like arpeggio rolls, but it just doesn't fit together. He plays it that way all the way through until 49. Where the staccato dots are, goes all the way through. It sounds like, I mean, at first it's maddening. It feels like you're looking at something out of focus, you know, because there's no beat. It's kind of there, it's no beat, it's kind of there. All the way through this massive stuff, he's just really playing loud, but still not together. Every note is apart, rhythmically. And then, after a while you get used to it, you settle down, and then at 49, all of a sudden he plays it in time, together. And he goes, whoa, what was that? That's, you know, but that's the way most people play all the time. You know, it's such a release of tension because of all this stuff. And he plays it more like a folk tune, like I said, as if you were singing. And it flows along. It says flowingly, but something about it doesn't. Okay? So, come on up. And now, all I really want, I'm trying to encourage you to do this because I think it's right, number one. Okay. It's okay. And number two is that it takes a conducting to get it to come off. It takes a lot more of you telling them how the line goes. Okay, that's fine. You can do it in 4 all the way through if you want to, as long as it feels into.
I'll try anything once.
Just play with it. Now, first time I ever did this with a band, I actually did it with Roxanne's band, and we've been playing along in 4/4. I just hate the way it sounds when I do it in 4/4. All the way through. And so finally I stopped and I said, you know, I always want to do this with a band. Would you just follow me once? And I'm not going to tell you anything about what it was terrific. It was really terrific. And I really believe this is what Granger has done. I really believe it. There's no reason for him to give that first count. Everyone starts on 2. So when he goes 1, 2 is the next, that's it. You're expecting to do another count.
Try that again. I know I wanted to do, but sorry, I forgot to tell you. Here we go. My fault. I haven't gone in 2 yet.
The pulse will remain the same. It doesn't get faster or slower. It's a matter of something feeling in 2 versus feeling in 4.
I know what I need to do. Absolutely. It is tremendously hard. There we go. Well, I just want to rush that like crazy.
Why don't you do this? You start. 3, 4, 1. You can do anything you want to with that. They're going to play right on.
hard.
Can I get you to do one phrase for me, just to hear the difference?
Just one.
Just one phrase, only one. Would you start at 49, 49, and I want you to play this phrase to the last half note no, it's energized to the last half note of the phrase. So in other words, we'll identify it even clearer than that. The phrase moves all the way to the fourth measure, third count. Okay? That means there's a crescendo there, there's every movement, all the energy you can provide goes to that note, and when we finally get there, we'll just sit on that for just a second. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. All the way through. There was that last section from 49 to the end only really had 3 phrases. The front side of the phrase, the loud part, is early in that marking, and from there on back is the back side of the phrase, clear to the end, energy-wise. Just keeps going away, finally. There it is. Yeah, very difficult piece, but it deserves more inspiration. We've all, as we were growing up, we all listened to early recordings of this piece, and I don't think they were right. And I think we just keep recreating the wheel, you know, and never put a hubcap on it or something.
Something. I want to thank the ensemble because without
Irish tune from County Derry. Oh, really? I don't know if Roger would have would you ask him if he has a bassoon part for? Yes. I don't know how it is over there. There we go.
really happening here is that, two things in combination, that's the reason it seems complex. He's slowing down this, count 4 a lot, and then going into count 2 in the next bar. And it seems like it's throwing them a little bit as to what happens on the, where count 2 is in the second bar. So I think, and he's also, you're actually also speeding up when you go into 2.
Right.
So you've been a big slowdown, and then suddenly speed up. So they can't tell if that's a slow 4, even slower 4 in the second bar or not. So some way needs to keep some sort
Clear.
of general pulse flowing in your own mind. I think you're still conducting these 3 counts as if you're going to stay in 4 here.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So this needs to be, even if you do it in 4, it needs to be felt like it's going to be a 2.
Okay.
Which probably means not so much seeing 2. It's not so much on the
Maybe
four.
try to stop, I'll stop slowing down here and see what happens.
Okay, let's do that. Okay.
Thank you. 33.
Wow. What nice things, huh? Very nice. Just so that, I mean, I thought what you did was great. And I think the idea of changing back and forth makes all the sense in the world. Done judiciously like you're doing it. That's great. Can we do this one time at the beginning as written? However, I have pianissimo written for everyone in the band at the beginning, except for the baritone horn, fourth horn is trombones on the melodic line, and their dynamic level is not pianissimo, not piano, not mezzo piano, but mezzo forte. And I always hear this piece written, played kind of like what you just played it. You know, it would be nice to hear. I don't know if you know the tune. Do you know what the story is to Irish Tune from County Derry? You know what it actually is? It's a very poignant story. It's a poem written by an older gentleman in Ireland. He had lost two sons that had been conscripted into the British Army and had both been killed. And his last son, his youngest son, was now got the marching orders. And it's Danny Boy, and he's saying, "Please, you come back to me." And it's a song. It's a folk song, very real, based on historical fact. And he knows he's not going to come back, but he's pleading anyway. And so it needs to sound like a solo baritone singer. Okay. Everyone. Ready? One. We are now at 17, is that correct? I have forte written with accents. But the people that do have it should be playing it. Not all of you have it. There's a change of style there. Go for it. I mean, that's, bang, you can't get more dramatic than this. Last, excuse me, I didn't mean to yell. Last 3 bars before 17. Let's finish that one and then do something different. 3 bars before 17. trumpet, so you're gonna play your own part. We can't follow you. Okay, good. Okay, be sure. The pulse is not that important most of the time. There's a lot of drama that, you just never hear it played that way. And it could be, could be.
Changed my
The problem with
concept
it,
immediately.
I'm sorry?
Changed my concept of that immediately.
Yeah, because it's really just, it's different. And what the hard part is the pianissimo part, right? It's hard to play that soft, especially like some of the upper brass parts. They're getting up there at times where it's really tough to produce a good sound.
And then wait till you get to the high clarinet part. Soft.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And if you do that way, if you don't mind, clarinets where you come in then, wherever that is, I'm sure we're Shepherd.
33.
33, you just listen to that, right? You don't want to come in and compete with that. What you do is you come in and play it as it's written. What a novel idea. Look at those dynamic levels. What this is just thinking. You just did it. Oh, this is just in your mind. 2, 3, 4. Last inning, look at that pianissimo. Almost impossible. Almost impossible. On a release of a chord, you should always, on a full chord like that, release downward in reverse score order. Or that's actually in score order, if you want to think of it that way. My own students, right here, piccolo release. Grand scale. Zoom. Last note, tuba. Last chord. Again. Everybody, you all see the score, right? Just do it again. Do it again. And tuba can hold out surprisingly right about to there. Chord. That's the orchestra sound when they just take the bow off the string. The string bass always vibrates longer than the fiddle. We have to think. We have to lift the bow. Life is cruel. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work.